Hi folks, my name is Shawn Patacsil. I'm the owner and operator of Aquatic Playground International. We're a swimming pool services company. This is a video I'm shooting for you, and I'm pretty much labeling it straight talk. It's just down-home conversation on the porch between you and me. Uh, we've tried to do a lot over the years to bring you information with regards to the company and what we have to offer and what we can do for you and how we are different from other companies, and we've done okay in doing that. But in doing so and dealing with my internet technology crew and different people that are advising me and general media, everybody wants me to do something different, and none of it's necessarily wrong, but I don't necessarily think all it's right either. So I've decided to sit down on my front porch after work today, after thinking about this a lot and having been asked many questions by several different people, both internally and externally, um, about different things we're doing. I just wanted you folks to be able to hear it straight from the horse's mouth and not have to question anything I'm saying and not have anybody put any unrealistic timelines on me to get the answers out. So I don't have any scripts here. I don't have any notes to go off of. Once again, I'm just sitting on the porch and wanting to speak with you folks. And hopefully Mike will be kind enough to get this up on my website and do it in a way that you guys can watch it comfortably, and we can go from there with it, and it'll answer some questions. So let's start out with this. I've been doing swimming pools for over 30 years. I'm third generation on my side of the family. There's another 4 generations on the other side of the family, so a total of 7+ generations plus with added cousins. I learned the swimming pool business a little differently than a lot of guys. I was born into it, and Dad had me out there in the field at about 5 years old because he figured he could dig a smaller hole and stick me into it. Right or wrong, that's the reality of it. And he did that on the service side, so I learned how to maintain the pools and take care of them before I learned anything else. A benefit of that for myself and for you as my clients is that I was seeing all the things that went wrong first. So as I grew into the industry, I was learning what I did not want to do with regards to a swimming pool prior to actually doing it. I wasn't making mistakes and then going back and going, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. I was dealing with the mistakes on the front end and learning as I went so that I could have future plans of what not to do when I started building and renovating swimming pools and even repairing them. So that's kind of a neat thing on my standpoint. So since about the age of 5, I've been out there in the field with Dad, and year by year, more and more I learned. By the time I was 9 years old, I was riding with new employees of the company and teaching them how to maintain the pools. It was kind of funny if you think about it. Here's a little kid out there, and there's a grown man, and the customers are coming up to the grown man asking him questions, and he's saying, you need to talk to the kid. So that is a reality. And I'm proud of that because I learned a lot. So I'm 43 years old now. I had a lot of years in the business. I've done a lot of things. So from there, from learning the repairs, or from learning the maintenance, I learned the repairs. By the time I was 7, 8 years old, I was learning about pumps, motors, filters, things of that nature. By the time I was 9, I was training other guys. By the time I was 10 or 11, I was out on renovation jobs. By the time I was 12 or 13, I was out on construction jobs. So I took a big part. When I say out on the job, I don't mean standing on the sidelines. I mean fully involved. I'm probably the last generation, generally speaking, of the start to finish construction contractor. That's where we go out with our own hands as the contractor and we build the pool start to finish, no subcontractors. We go out, we do the design and sale, layout, dig, steel, plumb, deck layout, deck work, tile work, marshite work, finish plumbing, electrical work, the whole 9 yards, rather than pulling the electric in from the house. That had to be done from the electrical contractor standpoint. So at one point in time, there was a whole bunch of us guys out there. We did it all. One crew, one set of guys, generally 3 or 4 guys would build the average pool from start to finish. Same guys showed up the first day, same guys that walked off the job the last day. So I'm one of those guys. There's a handful of us. out there probably. But you know, I'm definitely still active in the business and hands-on in the business. So that's my background. I'm a state of Florida licensed swimming pool construction contractor. My license number is actually CPC 1457624. You write it enough, you tend to learn it. That's why I can recite it. So I'm out there. I'm the guy with the license. I'm the guy with the knowledge. I'm the guy running the company. I'm going to talk to you about several things, and what I'd like to show you up front is that everything I'm about to say is backed up in writing. So with that said, you can see I have a company shirt on. It has my name, it has API. This is one of our brochures. It has API on it. Don't know how clear you can see it, but on the front it says pool problems resolved, guaranteed. On the back it says pools built to last a lifetime. So aquaticplayground.com, that's me. Even has a cute little picture of me inside, so there's a whole lot of information. And it puts our chemical parameters in there as well, which is right over here. So everything I talk about, it's in writing. Beyond that, these are our embossed folders. Everything we give you is going to have pool problems resolved guaranteed and pools built to last a lifetime and our name and numbers on there, so we can't hide from it. This shirt right here on the back, don't know how well you can see it. Pool problems resolved guaranteed, or it's completely free, and pools built to last a lifetime. We put it on everything. So, yeah, it's on our trucks, it's on our trailers, it's on our website, it's on our contracts, it's on our shirts, it's on everything we have. The reason I'm pointing all that out to you is I want you to have an absolute comfort level that when you're dealing with aquatic playground and any representative of aquatic playground, whether it's a man in the field, myself, someone in the office, someone from Internet Technologies, if they're covered by the API name, they're going to be honest with you, and if we do make a mistake, you're covered. We're not going to be able to hide from it. You drag us into court, what are we going to say? The judge is going to ask us a couple questions. Mr. Patacsil, do you own Aquatic Playground? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. And what's your argument? There isn't any. I can't argue it. Pools built to last a lifetime, or it's completely free, and those pools come with a 5-year all-inclusive warranty from what we build to the equipment that's installed with it. All the way to the pool problems resolved, guaranteed, or it's completely free. We'll come out and diagnose it right the first time. If we don't diagnose it right the first time, you're not paying for the diagnosis. Once we diagnose it and we come out to repair it, if we walk away and say it's fixed and it's actually not fixed and we have to come back and fix it again, we're going to come back and offer you your money back. All of it. $500, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000. And you know, we're going to make sure it's right. So ultimately you can end up with free work and free materials. We hope that never happens. And quite honestly, we've had the opportunity to offer people's money back a couple times. And fortunately for me, they understood that minor mistakes happen, and they didn't want their money back. They wanted to make sure we were around if they ever needed us again. So, we're not going to make those mistakes anymore. With that said, a little bit about what we have to offer you folks. We like to believe, and we feel on paper, if you look at it by the numbers, we offer the best structurally built and renovated pools available. It's not that we have any great magic powers. It's that I have a philosophy of go out and do it right the first time and build it to last and build it to be safe. Now, the difference between that philosophy and what other people do, quite honestly, is the code that we're operating under, or the laws and guidelines we have to operate under as contractors in Florida and any other state we may be in. And just as a side note, some states, they don't have much code to protect consumers, so you got to be careful. Probably more states than not don't have the code to protect consumers. But even the code that's there is not that great. So, once again, going back to the differences, our code in Florida says we have to meet a certain standard of construction. And in my opinion, an approvable opinion, it is a very minimum standard. It is a recipe for problems for you as a consumer. It's saying that we are going to build a minimum pool for you. Now, the average pool is probably $30,000 plus, and yes, there's advertisements out there for $15,000, $20,000, and yes, custom companies will come out and they will do that for you, but you have to question, what am I getting for my money? And I'm here to tell you, you're not getting everything you should be getting when you put a pool in at that price, but you're generally, hopefully, getting at least what you're paying for, and that's very often not the case. So, why is it different? Because of my philosophies. Code says one thing, I do something much different at a much higher standard. I do that because I want to protect my clients, the same reason I'm doing this video. Does it mean that you have to do it? Absolutely not. You do not have to do it. As long as you build to the code, you are legal. However, just building to the code does not protect you or your family's best interests. Couple major examples. In North Florida, the code says you can use a high voltage pool light in a swimming pool. The only thing standing between you and electrocution is a little O-ring in the light. Okay, so if the water gets past that O-ring, hits the electrical component where it's providing 110 electricity to the light, it can transfer through the water. Now, the powers that be say that that's what breakers are for, that's what ground fault interrupters are for. And granted, technically that's a true statement. But anybody that deals in electricity, if they're being honest, they're going to tell you breakers fail, ground fault interrupters fail. Is it worth taking a chance with your family to do that? What's the difference in price? Zero. It's actually cheaper for me to put a low voltage safety vault lighting system in than it is for me to put a high voltage system in. But the powers that be, the ones that don't know anything about swimming pools, they're the ones making the laws. Number two example. Here in Florida, we're a big peninsula state, things are shifting around a lot. We get a lot of concrete cracking. The running joke in the construction trades is concrete does two things for us. It gets hard and it cracks. But it doesn't have to happen. It happens because we have a minimum code on what we put down or in or install or raise, and then we rush it. So when you use crappy material and you rush through the job, your results aren't going to be that great. There's a better way to do it. Think back to years past. 10s, 20s, 30s, 50s, 1900s I'm talking about. Even before that. A lot more reinforcement. Better grade concrete. We weren't rushing to get it done in a week. Okay? We let materials cure. We took other special measures into consideration to make sure that the products lasted. Well, that way of thinking's gone to the wayside over the years, folks. And it's hurt us as a whole, as a nation. And you know, my grandparents, my parents, everybody that taught me, Bill Doherty, you know, Ron Evans, Legasse's, all my uncles, Fran Legasse, the founder of Pools by Legasse, all those folks, they always taught me, Shawn, if you become the best you can at what you do, you'll always do well. Well, that hasn't held true because we've gotten to a rush state as a society, and now people want it fast and they want it cheap. Well, it's out there for you, but I'm not the company to do it. So if that's what you're looking for, fast and cheap, and you're not worried about quality, you may just want to stop right here. Because the rest of what you're going to hear is going to make you think twice, 3 times, 5 times or more. And you're not going to like what you hear, and you're not going to like what you hear from other people, and you're certainly not going to like what your end product is. So with that said, you know, we're here to do quality. We can't do it the cheapest, and we can't do it the fastest because it just doesn't work that way. So with regards to new pools, we're going to build you the best built pool. And that's a bold statement to make these days because there's a gazillion pool contractors out there. But I back it up with the industry's leading warranty. And that's bold as well. Because from the concrete shell to the concrete deck to the interior finish to the way the hydraulics work to the way the finished plumbing and filtration works and all those electrical components that go along with it, I'm going to give you an all-inclusive 5-year warranty on it. A to Z, I'm going to give you an all-inclusive 5-year warranty on it. Now, I will even give that with pool finish staining. Nobody warranties pool finishes for staining, not even for a day, much less 5 years. I'll do it for 5 years, but you have to maintain the water chemistry right, have the proper filtration system on it, have the proper hydraulic or plumbing system installed in the pool to get it. So, plenty of people out there can do it. It's whether they choose to or not. So, I'll back that up A to Z. I have not one problem with it because I'm 100% confident in what I do. And hope that means something to you. And it's the way we do things. We use different concrete in our decks. We use different construction principles. Heck, we even dry it out differently. So, wow. But it's a slower process, and it takes a little more time, and not a lot more time, just a little more time. We'll add an extra 2 or 3 weeks onto your build out. But your end result is you're not going to get decks that are cracking within days or weeks. You're not going to get tile that's cracking within days or weeks. You're not going to get plumbing that's leaking almost immediately. You're not going to be cleaning your pool filter once a week, once every 2 weeks. In most cases, every 5 to 6 months you'll have to clean your pool filter. You're going to get better water quality because of the type of sanitizers that we utilize, and most importantly, the type of filters and the size that we utilize. The filters that I utilize are almost as big as I am, and they filter at 2 to 5 microns versus 20 to 40 microns. And you want the smallest number possible. Just think a small particle of dirt. Microns we can't see with the naked eye, but they're there, and when you get a bunch of it in the water, it causes staining and other issues. So you want to make this whole huge investment last. On average, you're talking $30,000 on up for a swimming pool. So it's as much as a car, if not more than a car in many cases. You don't just want to dump it in there and hope for the best. So, there's many things that we want to do that are going to be different than other companies. Another critical measure is the safety standards we go by. We want to know whether you're going to have kids, how many people that might use the pool. Are there going to be elderly folks using the pool? We want to make sure we have the right steps, the right entry ramps. If you need a special chair to get in and out of the pool because of disabilities, just so many things. It takes a very long time to go over it all. But those are some of the things to think about. But the bottom line is, you want to build the structure that's going to last. You want to make it absolutely safe. And to do that, you have to exceed the code. So with regards to building a new swimming pool, exceed the code. Build the best pool out there. Make it a true investment that you're not going to have to fight with over the years. Do it the API way.